No, 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 no. No.
All right, maybe the six times the charm. All right, we should be live now. Everybody should be able to hear us now. I don't know. I can hope. I can only hope.
Check 1 2. We'll see if the program producer comes in the back.
The program director.
Yeah, yeah. The producer comes out of the back lanai area and says, "Hey, turn your mic on."
Hopefully they can hear us. Hopefully they can hear us. Um. Anyways, why am I echoing? I don't know why. You can hear me though, still, right? You can hear me.
I can hear you.
All right.
It's like the line in the roller coaster when you're almost there and then they drop the gate. You're like, oh, oh,
No,
oh.
so hopefully our audio is fixed. We have the engineer in here fixing it. Hopefully that means it works. Our audio is fixed. Oh yeah, I can hear it on YouTube, so that means it works. All right, man, we're
Here
here.
we go.
My buddy Jason Cephas, like Bo Cephas, right?
That's right. You already know.
Dude, we got a lot to talk about today. We're gonna start obviously with Hernando County Middle School football, starting their playoffs tomorrow. First game is the Powell. What is their logo? Their what are they?
The Panthers are the Panthers.
Okay,
Yep.
so the Powell Panthers against the EKA Bobcats, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I want to get your opinion first. Who's gonna win the game to make it into the championship? What do you think?
Well, first, congratulations on getting in the playoffs once again for EKA. It's nice living in this town for 15 years. You get a chance, and also having three girls who are in the middle school, who went through the middle school area. It's good that I get the chance to see all these schools play. But at the end of the day, both these schools teams, I have them written down on paper. EKA is a powerhouse, and Powell is really traditional. So,
Yeah.
first off, hopefully everyone comes out and sees the game because it's going to be live, or as the kid says, it's going to be lit. But really, I see just from playing these two this year and my own coaching, I definitely see EKA taking it. I don't think it's going to be an easy game for EK8. I think it's going to be a game that they're going to have to walk and work through methodically their plays and their calls and their development. But I think it's going to get them ready and geared up to possibly smash whoever's in the championship with them.
Yeah, the other game, obviously, I don't want to talk too much about that game, the EKA against Powell game. I believe that both teams are fully capable of winning. Obviously, EK with the great arm of DJ can get it out to Devontae or Royce, and there's playmakers on both sides of the field. So I'm not going to give my prediction on that one. I think that the best team will win that game. The other game to go into the championship game would be Parrot against Challenger. So it's the Parrot. What are they? Parrot.
The Parrot are the Leopards.
Okay, so the
Yep.
Parrot Leopards against the Challenger. What are they?
Navigators.
Navigators. Okay.
Yep.
Dude,
Yep.
listen. I've been around the block for a little bit, but I've never figured out what the team names were.
Yeah, well, I mean, for those two, I have Parrot as a tradition, right? They're out of Hernando. A lot of those kids out of Parrot go up to the high school level, go to the Hernando Leopards. It's just tradition on that side of town, right? The exciting factor that I call CK8 is they're trending. Every year it's either a coaching change, every year it's either a player change, and sometimes Mo, as being in this field, trending can bite you sometimes real quick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like I said, I've seen them both twice this year. Once each this year.
Mhm.
I think both also really good squads. I think that at the end of the day, tomorrow, Parrot will come out on top, and they will face the winner of the Powell EK8 game, whoever that is. As I don't know if you know, but from what I hear, the championship game, depending on who makes it in, might be next Monday. So that's going to be a little change also.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes, it happens like that, right? The district or the hires at B throw a wrench in the schedule. And it's not to say that they don't, respect what we do down at this level. It's just that things happen. I mean, we're such a big community in the high school football program. We're also getting big, which I love to see as not only a parent, but also a coach in this town, is that we're really getting into more female sports. So we've got to open up these teams and open up these fields for more elite teams that are coming in that are the female specter. So yeah, if we have it on Monday, then we'll be able to ball. I also see possibly Parrot taking it over just because again they've been there before. We've seen them this year too, being at Winding Waters, and they both have two impact programs and impact players.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that they're a big squad. They're big kids, and I think they run the ball pretty efficiently. So I guess we'll see tomorrow. We'll see next week's show. We'll talk a little bit about then. Maybe, possibly, we might have to use or move Mic'd Up Monday to possibly Mic'd Up Tuesday next week due to the fact that the game could be played next Monday. So, all right. Without any further ado, let's move on to the next part of our show. Usually we have Alfredo for this. He is the expert baseball announcer, broadcaster, but today we have Jason. So let's see. Let's talk a little extra innings.
Swing, deep drive to left field, way back to the wall, and it's going, go! Home run!
So we're going to start off talking about the NLCS. All I can say with this one is, wow. It was just 4 games. It was a quick 4 games. The Brewers scored a total of 4 runs in all 4 games. And, the Dodgers just take 4 straight games, 2-1, 5-1, 3-1, and 5-1, respectively. Ohtani played fantastic. I don't know what game it was. See, my brother would be more of an expert at this, but I don't know what game it was. He had 10 strikeouts and a home run in one of these games. So that is absolutely impressive, and he is worth every penny that they paid for him, I would say.
Yeah, no, I agree too. And even though football season is almost on its cusp, the baseball season just kicks right in. Everyone's clicking back and forth, back and forth. And I know when I look at highlights, and sometimes I'll catch a game before I'm going to bed, and it just seems like the Dodgers have that program that again they're just building and feeding every year. And then with Milwaukee sneaking in there and being a powerhouse, it just seems kind of interesting how they only had 4 runs. But again, once you look at how these pros are dominating, it's just you can see why this is the topsy-turvy of the league.
Absolutely, absolutely. So they just took it really quick. It was just 4 games, and guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We have our first team going into the World Series, and that is going to be the Dodgers. I think it's their World Series to lose this year. For some reason, they have the pitching, they have the hitting, and all around, I think they're the more experienced team. And if we move on into the ALCS, talk a little bit about the Seattle Mariners against the Toronto Blue Jays series here. It has gone all the way to Game 7, which will be decided tonight. It probably just started about 5 minutes ago. So the first game, Seattle, took it 3-1. By Game 2, 10-3, I was like, okay, Seattle might just be taking this in 4, but then in Game 3 and 4, then Toronto wins 13-4 and 8-2. So I'm like, okay, now I'm super confused. And then then Seattle wins 6-2 going into the last game of the series, a game that was played last night. That one finished 6-2 in favor of the Blue Jays. So this is incredible. It's going to be Game 7 tonight. Whoever wins tonight will take on the Dodgers in the World Series. Again, I'm not a huge baseball know-it-all, as my brother would, be more equipped to answer these questions. But we'll see. I mean, whoever wins this game is going to play the Dodgers, and I believe the Dodgers will take it all this year. That's my prediction, at least for the baseball series. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean that's something that you can definitely put your money to the bank on. But again, I think when you look at this type of league and this side of town, you have two great cities. You have cities that have been there before, so it's interesting how like you said, you start seeing the games go every night, and next thing you know, you get a 10 run, and then you get a 13 run, and you think, where is this going? So I would say this division is always the unpredictable, and it's always it seems like it's always a division that just keeps going and going. But again, I think the Dodgers are licking their chops. I think they definitely like what Toronto's serving up, or you were in Seattle. So it's going to be interesting tonight. I hope everybody watches it and still supports baseball. Obviously, me and myself being a lacrosse guy, it's always good to see some of these different sports all over the channels. But when you're forced to watch stuff like this, it's a good watch. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Like I said, I have a feeling that Toronto's going to win this game 7, and they're going to play against the Dodgers. And unfortunately, I think it's going to be a Dodgers game.
A takeover
series to lose, right? So
yeah.
Yeah, that's a little bit about baseball. Again, not the biggest baseball fanatic on my side. I haven't watched baseball in some time. My brother's usually the one that knows more of it than I do. So I would say wait till next week. We'll get a little rundown on the World Series, see how that's going. Again, it might be a mic'd up Tuesday with Coach Mo next week, depending on the football games. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that has been Extra Innings.
Swing and keep trying to left field, way back to the wall, and it's gully, home run.
Yeah, back to football. Oh yeah.
That's right. A little bit of NASCAR. Yesterday, the NASCAR series drove in to Talladega. My son was actually at the race this weekend, which was pretty cool. He talked a little bit about that. I guess it lost our audio there for a second, but it's back, so that's good. We want to talk a little bit about the points remaining. This is a cutoff race, Jason. This is a cutoff race here in Martinsville, and there's only 2 spots available. I mean,
yeah. Well, some people say cutoff, but we also say NASCAR cutthroat. And now as you have the Cup Series up there, it's wild because people don't realize that it's not just driving cars around left. It's really a strategic plan, and hopefully your drivers, your pit crews, your mechanics can get you to the pole.
Listen, yesterday in Talladega, when they went into overtime, lining up outside of the first row in row 2 was Kyle Larson, and unfortunately, going in the backstretch, he actually ran out of gas, so he was unable to get to the front, which I think slowed down a little bit. Byron slowed down a little bit, so they were unable to pull that through. But again, Chase Briscoe ended up winning the race, and of course, we always have to talk about the big one, right? And unfortunately, for me at least, the big one took out my favorite driver, who is now a winner go home next week in the cutoff race, Chase Elliott, who is now 62 points behind the cutoff. And it's going to be an interesting race at Martinsville. I can tell you that Chase has won at Martinsville before. And back in 2020, when he did win the championship, he did have to win this race to get to the championship race and then won in Phoenix. So he's been put in this position before, and he's won out of this position. So I'm still hopeful. I don't know how probable it'll be, but definitely hopeful for Chase Elliott to pull off back-to-back wins, which he hasn't done since then.
Well, I'll tell you right now, Mo. You're looking what you're looking for is the Bon Jovi song "We're Living on a Prayer," right? When it comes to Chase Elliott. Now, listen, coming out of the 11 garage, you already know. I hear the boos already. But listen, Chase had a great run last night. He was running. He had a fast car. He was high up on the wall, low down on the bottom of the track. What got him is no one wanted to help him out last night, and that's unfortunate. There's 3 things about Chase that I love. 1, he's done it before and he's won it. 2, he hates being wrecked. Oh, he hates it. 3, he's always able to get his revenge when it comes up to a track like in Martinsville. So he'll be fine. The garage will get him tuned. I just hope he stays in his game. My thing is, if you see the 3 Toyotas up front, I think that might be a pipe dream for a lot of people. Again, I'm a Toyota follower, but those guys aren't that strong when it comes to the next race. So we'll see when it comes down, especially when Larson runs out of gas. I couldn't be more happier.
Listen, all right, so as far as Toyotas go, right now, currently, if it went to the championship, 3 Gibbs Toyotas would be in the finals with the 1 Chevy, which is from the Hendrick stable, Kyle Larson. So, but there are still 2 spots available, and the only thing I can hope for is for a Chase Elliott win and Kyle Larson to get 2 more points than Christopher Bell, so that 2 Hendrick drivers make it in. That would be pretty much the only way 2 Hendrick drivers could get in, unless William Byron also wins and Kyle Larson gets a couple extra points. That would be the only way. Now, these Fords, I'll tell you, Joey Logano being the series champion from last year, he's done it. He's been there. You know what I mean? Ryan Blaney did exactly what he needed to do last year to make it into the to the finals and win. So he got in. So again, I feel like it's win or go home, especially for the bottom 4 for Byron, Logano, Blaney, and Chase Elliott. I think the only way they can get in is really with a win. I mean, definitely Chase Elliott. The only way in is with a win. But I think he's got it in him. He's won at Martinsville before.
I was going to bring that up.
Here's what I'll tell you, Jason. I think this year specifically, I'm a huge NASCAR fan, so I watch pretty much every single race, every single lap of every single race. And more importantly, I watch qualifying. Chase Elliott has had a lot of problems on Saturday. He's had a lot of problems qualifying. And I think that yesterday, that is what bit him in the butt, is that he qualified 25th, and he couldn't find a partner to get to the front. The one time that he got up there was when everybody was pitting, and this, that, and the other. It was a pit strategy. But, again, nobody was with him, so it was tough for him to get up there. I think that if he would have been further up, if he would have qualified better, I think that it would have been a different outcome for Chase Elliott. But that's well,
I mean, no one really. I mean, I'll tell you right now, Mo. Really, no one wants Joey Logano in there. Again, he's a pompous driver. He's a drifter driver, and again, that usually wrecks the whole fleet, right? Also, you talked about Christopher Bell, and I think a lot of people sleep on Christopher Bell. But I'm telling you right now, if you have Hurricane Hocevar wrecking everybody, which is usually always by Christopher Bell, he's not going to make it either. The best thing for Chase Elliott to do is get in that garage, get in that car, qualify, like you said, Mo, on Saturday. And Saturday also shows you the stamina of these drivers. We don't know what they're doing all week. They could be cold. They could have a flu. They could be not feeling well. They may be staying like Denny. He could be up late with the baby. You don't know. So, again, I'm not trying to critique these drivers, but at the end of the day, I think we're going to have a great fleet of guys. I know we're going to have a great fleet of mechanics as well as the crew chiefs, and I think it's going to rock and roll. I just can't wait. I can't wait to see how this all plays out.
Yeah, it's going to be a great race to the finish here. Now, kind of like I put my brother on the spot last week about baseball, I'm going to put you on the spot here. There's only 2 spots available. So Briscoe's in to the championship race in Phoenix. Denny Hamlin's in with a win. So there's 2 spots available. Who do you have going to Phoenix for a shot to win the championship?
I think honestly, I can't overlook. I think William Byron's going to sneak in, okay? And I think my dark horse, and again, not because I love you and not because, we work together and coach together, but again, like I just said, if Chase Elliott gets in that garage and does well on Saturday, he's still not going to get in. I'm sorry. I hate to bust your bubble, right? But it's going to be Ryan Blaney. He's got all the money in the world. He's got a great crew chief. I know you're like, oh, Cephas, you went the other way with me. But I'm telling you, the number 12 car, he's fast. Again, if he stays away from certain drivers, but in all reality, I mean, you're right, Mo. It could be any one of these guys. I hope for your sake I'm wrong and Chase is in there because I love seeing the number 9 drive. But again, I think Blaney just is going to squeak in, and those going to be those 2 Fords, if not 1,
Wow.
and Bell. Yeah. So.
Wow. Okay. All right. So
I'm not a betting man, so that's what I love about. I can give my predictions, and there's no
there's
no house money.
Like I said, I love NASCAR. I've watched it for far too long to count Chase Elliott out. But like you said, I think I agree with you when you said that it is kind of like living on a prayer. I think that it's going to be tough.
It is
for Chase to get in. He's going to need a Hail Mary. Here's the thing: when you're in desperation, okay, when you're in desperation mode, especially in NASCAR, he's going to do things that he normally wouldn't do, or Alan Gustafson, which is his crew chief, will do things that normally wouldn't happen, right? But I think Sunday you will see a different Chase Elliott. I think if you ask me, I think he shaved his mustache, and I think that was his problem. He shaved his mustache. He was doing great.
He was serious.
And
he thought he got serious on that. It really hurt him.
He shaved and no longer in contention here. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was our NASCAR talk. And now here's the logo.
Hey, I'm just real, man. When it comes to NASCAR, I'm real. I did. I saw a little bit of footage. Again, I talked to a lot of coaches in the area, like you do too, Mo. And it is. Citrus always has a hard time. We see him in media day, and the kids are great. The coaches are fun, but it's just a different style of football up north, and Central, where you would think maybe would have struggled with them. They just seem to find a way to win when they go across the county line.
Yeah, like I said, I think that Central is one of those teams that's like hot and cold. I saw them last week, the week before, when they played against who was it that they played against a little bit further
Was
north?
it Wakey? Oh, Sumner?
No,
not
they
Sumner.
Played against
Crystal River.
Crystal River, that's who they played against.
Yeah, Crystal River.
And they lost that game. So it was, like I said, they're hit or miss. They're hot and cold. You know what I mean? Some weeks you think like, man, they're on, and then some weeks you're like, what? So
it's like how they get off the bus. It's weird because they struggle sometimes at home, and you're like, what?
Yeah,
you guys went up there and beat whatever school it was. So yeah, it's interesting that side of town football is interesting.
Yeah, like I said, I think that they had a coaching change not too long ago, last couple of years, and I think that might have changed. I think it's Coach P now that they have over there at Central, and I don't know. I think he I don't know. To be
Well,
honest
I
with
think
you.
what it is again, you got the tradition of Hernando Leopards, right? You're never going to stop that tradition. It carries on through the middle school to the elementary schools. But Central is in that awkward, Sunshine Grove Road, Hexton. We're not Winky, but we're not Hernando. They've just tried to establish themselves as a program, which they have in the ROTC level. But when it comes to high school football, they're still trying to find their identity. And I think we're all like, hey, you guys are Central. Let's just be Central. And your kids all feed. You have the elementary school right there. You have the middle school right there. Let's just feed into the program. But they still sometimes just don't get it. I don't get it. So,
Yeah,
but again, great kids, great attitude.
yeah. Again, I agree with you there. I don't know what it is, but we'll see. I mean, we'll see. They're out of the playoffs now, but at the end of the day, it's still football and it's still fun to watch. And I know that recently you just said something about Hernando. That score was one-sided. Hernando ended up winning that game 71-0. Is that correct? Is that what I read?
Yeah, I believe so.
71-0. Wow.
I know, at high school.
Yeah, that's interesting, right? I think at the middle school level, we see that more often because it's very lopsided. But at the high school level, to see a 71-0, especially a team that isn't like a IMG Academy, right?
Right.
You see.
Well, let me real quick. Mo, let me just speak on your point real quick, right? And you said you see it at the middle school level, and I'm glad you said that. I know we've already talked about middle school, but I've just got to bring this up real quick. I think hopefully the viewers and a lot of people out there understand that when that happens in the middle school, it's a character development not only for the school that's winning 70-0, but it's also really character development for the school that's losing. Even though people think that's asinine, but it really is. It teaches the kids you don't want to be embarrassed. It teaches them confidence, and I don't want to go into the whole spiel. Now, fast forward to the high school, where it becomes embarrassing as a high school is because now you kids should know your integrity. You should know your school fundamentals and your logistics of football. And Mo, again, you as a coach, me as a coach, that kind of sometimes goes down to the coaching staff as well.
Yeah.
If you can't execute a right philosophy, then that's on you as a coaching staff.
Yeah, I think Seminole is struggling, man. I used to play them when I was in high school. I played them, and it's so weird to see that because such great football, players have come out of Seminole. I don't know if you remember back in the day when Tom Brady had the Deflategate. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
So the reason, or the person who found or who intercepted that ball and took it to the house. Is a guy by the name of DeQuell Jackson. Do you know who that is? He was a linebacker. He was a linebacker for the Browns. Is it staticky for you too?
Yeah, is that you or me?
Yeah, that's me. Hold on a second. Keep talking. Talk a little bit more about what you were saying about the.
Well, no, I know exactly where you're going with it. And I don't want to steal your thunder, but when you look at the integrity of that type of Deflategate, or when you look at the formalities, right? Why we play the game. When you look at that controversy, I mean, all the words come into play. However, what people have to realize too is there's accountability when that happens. And going back high school football, it looks like the accountability is going to fall on not only the players, but it falls on the coaching staff. And really, a little bit falls on the admin. The administration should be wanting someone that's coming in, which, Mo, they always do. They want someone who wants to come in and be rah-rah school. But the character of school and students who support student athletes are kind of changing. And the only way that you keep successful programs in your school is winning. And I know we're getting out of this culture of winning is everything and winning's anything, but then you turn on the TV on Sunday and what do you see? You turn on the TV on Saturday and there's so much moxie and I'll say it, maleism, that you gotta be a winner to feel successful. And I think there's coaches like you and there's other coaches out there in the world who are like, hey guys, let's look at your integrity, then let's start winning. If you can't win, then still uphold your integrity, on and off the field. And I just think sometimes we're losing that when you get to these outlandish scores, 70-6, or I think in Texas, I read the other day in Texas, somebody put up 105 or something like that, and it's just wild.
Yeah, it's wild to me. But like I was saying with the Hernando Seminole game,
the gentleman.
Yeah, DeQuell Jackson. I played against him in high school. We called him Slash. He was everything. He was their kicker / their quarterback / their middle linebacker. He literally was everything for them, and they were great. They were a good football team. They were a great baseball team. They had DeQuell played on that team. Another guy that played in the majors was on that team. So it's weird to see a team, a Seminole team, be getting beat 71-0 by Hernando team, which again is not a great IMG Academy, right?
Right.
So that is the Hernando High game. The next one that we'll talk about is Nature Coast against Land O'Lakes. Great game, man. Absolutely amazing. This was an awesome game. This was played in Nature Coast, and Land O'Lakes pulls off the win 38-22. Dude, Land O'Lakes is the real deal. It's weird. Another team that's been very surprising. They played Mitchell really well, but Nature Coast, it's a Hernando County team. They have a couple hometown kids. One in particular, R.J. Jones. Dude, that kid is the real deal. I know that this game probably didn't showcase his skills, but this kid is legit. I think he's going to be playing on Saturdays. Their overall record, I think, is 7-2 right now.
Yep.
They're 3-0 in the district. I mean, that's no slouch, right? I think that they're going to do well. I just don't think they can make a big push in the playoffs. What do you think?
Yeah, I think playoff run's going to be tough for Nature Coast. They're still too young. They got a new head coach. I definitely second you. I got a chance again speaking about middle school football today. That was the start of the broadcast. You look at R.J. Jones coming from a program like EK, so he's been dominant since he's been that little. He was dominant when he was at the, I think, Hudson Mustangs or Pop Warner, whoever they are down there, lower than us. And that's not to discredit their program. But when you look at this battle, I think it really shows how upcoming Land O'Lakes is. I think they're trying to show in that new Tampa area that they're kind of the big dons coming out of there. Like you said, you brought up the Mitchell game. Mitchell's, again, another very traditional high school that's been around in Florida. But when you look at Land O'Lakes, they're the newbies. Not necessarily the greenhorns, but they are the new kids on the block. So when you come up to us here at Hernando, Nature Coast is becoming the powerhouse. And I think Nature Coast as a school itself is becoming the school that Springstead was, that Hernando focuses on, and that, again, Central's trying to find, and we haven't even brought up Wiki yet. But again, I think they have a lot of people coming out of Nature Coast. Their front line looks pretty impactful. The new coach seems like he has the administration and the student body. So, yeah, I look to see some good things coming. One thing I want to add about Nature Coast while we're talking about them, and I'm not the only one that says it, they need a band program. We're in the South. I'm from New York, and we don't have bands. The band's not custom in football in high school, but down here, or when my wife's from in Atlanta, I mean, that's all they know. So I would hope, that somebody would get into that program, work with the administration, try to get a band program in there, because that just helps the student body, and it helps the tradition of football. So that's my small
something
point.
I learned today, man. I didn't know that they didn't have a band program. Now, what I will say is that they've had a lot of good players come out of Nature Coast. A couple that have made it into the NFL. A couple that have played at the at the college level. They've even had a few that are still around here. Like head coach Brandon Newby coming out of Nature Coast. He's on that wall of fame that they have over there, and good dude. knows his football. His brother was on the wall there as well. So there's been a lot of people that come out of that school, and I think that it's going to continue that tradition coming out of there. Next, we'll talk to a game that we're pretty familiar with, that Springstead Wiregrass Ranch game. We were both at that game. We can talk about that really quick. I think that Wiregrass is just too dominating in the air for Springstead to stop. I know Springstead had a few folks who were injured. I know that they didn't have their star running back as well in Will Figueroa. So I'm not sure what that was all about, but what I can tell you is that they got beat through the air pretty good. Their quarterback over there at Wiregrass Ranch, they're also turning players into Saturday players quickly. A couple years ago with Isaiah Riggins, they had the guy that went to Ohio State. So they have dudes, they have guys, right? I think you've mentioned this a couple times already today. This trickles down. It's not just the players on the field. It's the afternoon football that really makes a difference, right? The after school program, right? It starts from administration all the way down to the coaches, and then obviously trickles into the players. But again, I think that for Springstead at least, the clipboards and the iPads are not doing it for them, right? Their overall record right now is 3-5. They're 1-1 in the district. They have to win this week. They're in a must-win situation. If they win, I think they go in as the number 2 seed in their district. If they lose, they're completely out. So I don't know. Tell me, what do you think about this team and this football game that we saw on Friday?
Yeah, no, you're exactly right, Mo. I mean, you're hitting off on all cylinders. When it comes to Springstead, sometimes you can get Van Duels with smoke and mirrors, right? Everybody loves magic shows, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But when you see the magic show again and again and again, there's something behind the magic. And then usually what happens, you get what? Disappointed. Like, oh, man, we saw that same clown trick, right? And it's not to say that coaching staffs are clowns, but it's just the point where it's like, guys, let's get back to the basics. I've seen Galfarno coach several times and several good teams. This is a team that's a lot of freshmen coming in. He's got, again, some missing key components. But, Mike has a good head on his shoulders. And I think he's the same old traditional coach. He's been there forever. He helped build that program and that leadership, but I think it's time to channel down a little bit. You're not the LSUs where they score a touchdown, right? They're down by 20 points, and they score a touchdown, and they're turning on and off the lights. I get it, but you're just not that caliber. You're not a bravado like a Miami or somebody. Now, when you look at Wiregrass, Mo, you were there. They came off the bus with 4 minutes and 38 seconds for warm-ups.
Yeah.
4 minutes and 38 seconds. So I'm thinking, okay, I guess the clowns are here. Here comes the circus. These boys suited up. The first 2 passes, they throw an 82-yard bomb for a touchdown.
Yeah.
It's almost like they walked off the bus saying, look, we're not here for the circus. If anything, we're going to close the circus down. It's senior night. Everybody's running around the place because it's senior night. And honestly, I was on the sideline, doing the broadcast, and I don't think Springstead took them seriously. Yeah. I think Springstead knew that they were coming late. They figured, we have a bunch of kids who are kind of Tampa kids, but not really. They're coming from Wiregrass. And Wiregrass got off that bus saying, like, look, we're going to ruin your party. Yeah. And we're going to show up late with no macaroni salad. You know what I'm saying? Like, who doesn't bring macaroni salad if you're invited? Because we invited them on senior night. So I think whoever was doing the schedule, again, this is my perception, right? I've been here for 15 years. My perception is whoever did that schedule thought, senior night, October, it's going to be electrifying. We'll probably have a better record than we think we're going to be, and we're going to blow them out of the waters. And I tell you right now, Wiregrass came in and said, no, not today. We didn't buy tickets here. Matter of fact, they bought a boat horn. Did you hear that boat horn on the sideline?
So loud.
Goodness. I mean, they didn't even bring a band. They just bought a boom speaker from Sam's Club, and they were rocking. So, again, the funny thing to me is, when you look at Springstead, you're hoping for the tradition. Like, again, you're hoping that the circus is going to be a great show, but then it's just a circus. Let's go back and watch Netflix. And I think Wiregrass was Netflix that night.
Hey, they hats off to them. They had
Yeah.
a great game. They were very balanced. They ran. They threw the ball exceptionally well. The quarterback is fantastic, Terry. He did a great job getting those boys ready for the game. And
Yeah, he's a
they ended
4-star
up-
prospect too.
Yeah.
4-star. He's
Yeah.
coming out. He's going somewhere on Saturday. He'll be
Absolutely.
playing with RJ. Hey, not to interrupt real quick, Mo, but I heard a rumor mill that Springstead's getting turf. So if that's the case, I'm hoping they do because that's going to really upgrade their games. It's always nice to play on turf, and hopefully there'll be a better outcome.
It is, yeah, no, that would be awesome for Springstead. That field
Yeah.
is not the best I've seen, so hopefully that can happen soon. But last and definitely not least,
Here it
we have
is.
Weeki Wachee against Crystal River. A game where I thought Crystal River was going to give it more of a challenge there to Weeki Wachee, but I think the final score of that one was 36-20. Weeki Wachee also has some hometown boys that are taking care of business over there. I know that the safety kid, I coached his dad.
Yeah, Kevin Moss.
Kevin Moss, yeah.
Yeah.
I coach his dad in semi-pro. He's a good dude. Kevin Moss, good guy. And he's been all over the place as well. So I was not surprised that Weeki Wachee won. I just thought that Crystal River, after seeing them put a good show on against Central on the GCSN, which everybody should go subscribe and follow. You might hear your boy Jason Cephas on there. You might hear Coach Mo there. Specifically next Thursday, if you go listen to the broadcast, Coach Mo's probably going to be doing the broadcast there next Thursday at Hernando High School. Just a little plug there for the GCSN.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at Wiki, it's interesting, right? But then let's talk Crystal River first, right?
Sure.
Again, Crystal River, they're my trending up north. Again, it's always a battle when they come down. They have a good coaching staff. They have some good prospects. One thing about Crystal River, though, is they're still struggling to find their identity. Are we going to throw? Are we going to rush? If you look at their stat for stat, it's a lot of wishy-washy, right? And again, no pun intended, it's a river, but which way are you flowing? Are you going upstream or are you going downstream? Because I tell you right now, Coach Mo, when they go downstream, they're hot. They're loose. I mean, they're flowing like they have a six-pack and they have some Bluetooth. But I tell you what, when they're going upstream, it stinks. It looks like they should get off the river. You know what I mean? So I hope as they make their play and as they make their runs, they understand which way they're going. Because I'm telling you, you get them set and sail, they're great. They got a great baseball program up there. They have great administration. Their facilities are nice. So they have the chance to push from the north if they depend on which way the river flows.
Now, I don't know if you saw this, but they had a starting quarterback last week, number 82, Grayson Stack, who actually got the GCSN Player of the Game, and that was his first start.
Yeah,
he did great against Central, right? So again, I don't know if it was just because it was Central or he just had, I don't know, the it factor that day. It was his first start as a quarterback because he's not on the roster as a quarterback, and especially now with the number 82. But I don't know. I don't know where that went this week. Who knows?
He came running in. Everyone thought he was the punter, and then with the name of 82, what are you, tight end going on a slant route. But here's what's funny. Again, which way are you going? They picked to go down the river against Central and did well. They had the brand new kid come in and he did well. So I don't know. My hat's off to them because they are putting together some wins. But then my hat goes down over my eyes like, what's going on here? So, it's interesting. And when you look at Weeki Wachee program, that's a whole other ball of wax. I know Justin Bland really well. He's got his coaching staff now. I think he's in his second year, maybe third year going in. And he's starting to build a new culture. And that's one thing, hopefully we can segue into the Weeki Wachee culture. They have a whole bunch of housing development going on over there. They have a lot of middle school transients that are coming up. So, again, I think Wicky's going to really start to see some more light at the end of the tunnel.
All right, we're going to do a quick pick 'em for this week's games with you. we have the game of the week, which is Wiki Wachi at Hernando. Who do you have on that game?
Mm-hmm. Again, tradition versus new kids on the block. I'm gonna have to say, seeing both programs so far this year, I think Wiki's gonna sneak an upset. I really do. I know it probably sounds crazy to some fans, but I just think Hernando just relies on being tradition, and I think that tradition is gonna sail. So I got Wiki winning at least by a touchdown. I don't think it's gonna be a blowout. It's gonna be a nail biter, but I got Wiki winning it.
Okay. All right. And then we have Springstead at Wesley Chapel. This is for the district. So, who do you got? Springstead, you got Wesley Chapel. Who do you got?
Yeah, Springstead, I've seen them travel. They have a hard time traveling, which is unfortunate. I've also had to see Wesley Chapel play a little as I've been living here throughout the years. But, again, I'm going to have to say I think Wesley Chapel is going to beat them at home. They have a good fan base down there. I think them on the road after losing that bad against Wiregrass, they may still be a little disheveled. I would love to see them pull a win out on the road, but I just think, again, Wesley Chapel has it going for them this year, and it just could be that's just not the night for Springstead.
All right, and then we got let's see, Nature Coast is on a bye this week. Their last game is going to be next week at Hernando. That's the game that we'll be doing on the GCSN.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That is going to be a huge game. And then the last one that I want you to pick is going to be Central versus Pennarock. Have you heard of them?
Yeah, okay, so, Pennarock, not too familiar with them, but I'm familiar with Central. And again, I think they're going there, right? Are they going to Pennarock?
No, it's
at Central?
Central, I think. Yes.
Okay, my apologies. I just, again, I don't know that program that well, so I'm going to stick with the hometown heroes. I hope Central's able to win it, and maybe there's senior night, sounds like. So, yeah, I'm going to pick Central on that one. It's kind of good. It's one of those no blinder ones, so.
Yeah. I know that Pennarock played against Anclote last week. They beat Anclote 28-14. Their overall record is 3-5. I don't know. They're from Lakeland, so
and I've seen Lakeland area. I've seen Lakeland's program. Lakeland has a lot of good sports in their high school, so we'll see that area, that town. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, these guys are at home, so hopefully they get a good night's sleep and they're able to pull the win out at home.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey man. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on Mic'd Up Monday.
Yeah.
I know that we had some audio issues to kick it off. We were able to put it together. We got the engineer to come in here and fix everything that we needed to get fixed. I look forward to hopefully seeing you tomorrow. I don't know if you guys have a game or not, or what's going on. Do you guys have a game tomorrow, or?
No, we're done. Yeah, unfortunately.
Sorry. Yeah.
I
didn't mean that.
No, you're fine.
I forgot. I totally forgot.
No, you're fine. You're fine. And since we're gonna end off on this podcast, which again, thanks for having me on. This was fun. Regardless of the technical difficulties, I think it's always fun to be able to get on and talk football with some other guys that are knowledgeable. And I know you've been doing this for a while now, and we appreciate it here in the community. And it'll give some people to get off of the brain rot and get on to some people talking about some cool stuff that goes on in the community. Because if that doesn't happen, Mo, then you're not going to have the NFLs. You're not going to have the colleges, and it all starts with what we do. I know you're a volunteer too.
Sure.
You and I have coached many years across the field together, and now we've connected not only through the YMCA program, but for what I do in the afternoon, but just us talking as dads. And, the GCSN. So, keep up what you're doing. I hope you get a lot more followers. Like I said, I'm going to help, the broadcast and the podcast myself. But, yeah, thanks for having me on. And, other than that, go Giants always.
Oh, my God. Hey, see, dude, I can't even believe you would say that, especially after yesterday. I know we were going to
I'm a fan, dude. I'm loyal.
Well, listen, me too. As a Cowboys fan, it's rough. But – listen, we're going to talk a little NFL. It's gotten a little late, so we're going to cut it a little short this week. Yeah. But listen, here's what I will tell you. two things. Number one is you are always welcome on Mic'd Up Monday. If you ever want to come in, guest host anytime, or if you have anything that you want to plug for yourself, for the community, or for anything else, let me know. We will bring you on the show anytime. You're always welcome. I hope I get to see you tomorrow. I don't know if you're going to go to the game or not, or if you're going to go to the other game that's going to be played. I'm not sure. We'll be out at Springstead tomorrow. Check out my edit that I'll have for tomorrow's game on TikTok. I'm on TikTok. That's at Mic'd Up W Coach Mo 2. Go check us out. Follow on Instagram at Mic'd Up with Coach Mo. And then always every Monday night, Mic'd Up with Coach Mo on YouTube. Watch live. Coach Cephas, again, absolute pleasure.
Yes.
Hopefully we get you on here again. Thank you for all your knowledge and the good talk. And, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Mic'd Up Monday. Take care. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach Mo.